Join me as I dive into the crazy rise of Mounjaro prices in the UK and see if I can figure out why they're skyrocketing. Mounjaro, a medication that's been making waves in the UK market, especially for those dealing with type 2 diabetes. It's known for its effectiveness in helping manage blood sugar levels, but recently, its prices have been going through the roof. This increase is a big deal for many people who rely on it to manage their condition. The reasons behind these skyrocketing prices are complex. One major factor is the high demand for Mounjaro, which has been driven by its success in clinical trials and its reputation for being highly effective. Pharmaceutical companies have to balance the cost of producing the medication with the need to make a profit. However, when prices rise too quickly, it can put a strain on consumers and the healthcare system. For consumers, the price increase can be a huge burden. Many people rely on Mounjaro to manage their condition, and higher prices can make it harder for them to afford the medication they need. This can lead to people skipping doses or rationing their medication, which can have serious health consequences. The healthcare system also feels the impact, as higher prices can lead to increased costs for the NHS and other healthcare providers. The affordability issue is closely tied to accessibility. When prices rise, it can limit access to the medication for those who need it most. This can exacerbate existing health inequalities, making it even harder for vulnerable populations to get the care they need. Delving into the specifics, if we look at the price changes over the past year, Mounjaro has seen a significant increase. Compared to previous prices, the current cost is substantially higher. For example, a patient's monthly supply could cost around $50 last year, but now it's more like $80 or even $100 in some cases. That's a huge jump, and one that many people are struggling to keep up with. To put it into perspective, let's consider what this means for a patient who's been taking Mounjaro for a while. If their prescription used to cost $200 every 3 months, now they might be looking at $320 or more for the same amount of medication. That's an enormous increase, especially for those on a tight budget. The impact on accessibility is a major concern. As prices continue to rise, it's likely that we'll see more people struggling to afford their medication. This could lead to a range of negative health outcomes, from worsening diabetes symptoms to increased complications. What really stands out is how this price increase affects people differently. For instance, there are stories of patients who have been forced to choose between Mounjaro and other essential expenses, like rent or food. Experts are sounding the alarm, warning that unless something changes, we're going to see a lot more people struggling to get the medication they need. In one specific case, a patient shared that they had to ration their Mounjaro doses just to make ends meet. This not only put their health at risk, but also added to their stress levels. It's heartbreaking to think that people are having to make these kinds of choices just to stay healthy. The expert opinion is clear. Urgent action is needed to address these price hikes. Unless the government or pharmaceutical companies step in, it's likely that we'll see even more people being priced out of the market for Mounjaro. To recap, Mounjaro prices in the UK have skyrocketed, causing concern for consumers and the healthcare system. The reasons are complex, involving high demand and the challenges of balancing production costs with profit. The impact on affordability and accessibility is significant, with many people struggling to afford their medication. If you've been affected by the Mounjaro price increase, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. Don't forget to check out my other videos for more insights on this and other topics that matter to you.